Hi, and welcome to the hot making-of of Firemen. Paul, prise 1. Firemen is set in the aftermath of the First Gulf War, while Saddam Hussein forces set hundreds of oil wells on fire in Kuwait, causing a massive environmental disaster. As this historical backdrop is integral to the narrative, we opt for a hybrid style approach in between documentary and fiction to highlight the firefighters' act of heroism.
Stanis, recyclage, première. To prepare for the shooting, we gathered resources, references, and testimonies about real-life firefighters' experience. To create the set, I first modeled the shelter in 3D to find the appropriate dimensions. I had to strike the balance between realism, cost, and practicality, as the shelter needed to be fully modular and easily dismounted.
Léo DA 3e. Voilà. The artistic direction had two main goals: showing historical elements and putting the spectator in the same hell as our characters. We created props that stick to reality and use a 4:1 ratio relevant to the time period while making the image as dirty as possible. Albin 4e ou 5e, je sais plus. I was in charge of the shooting, all of the logistics, the budget, the earliest pre-production, editing, and everything post-production supervision related. On set, it was 60 shots that had to be packed in a week on 6 production setups. Our final cut eventually grew up to be 98 shots long. Recreating the light of a 30-meter burning geyser was a bit tricky. Thanks to a lot of tests, we were able to find the perfect reusable setup. We programmed 3 LED panels and some LED tubes to obtain the right colors, flickering, and shadow softness. We wanted to get an even more visceral approach by shooting real fire. Thanks to professional pyrotechnicians, we added another layer of realism to our movie, allowing us to blend practical and special effects.
Due to the vast amount of pyro effects in the movie, we decided to render them in the same renderer as the rest of the CG. Karma allowed us to benefit from the Houdini pyro shader workflow, but with better render time than Mandra. Rendering 50 shots in Karma implied to set up a complete USD pipeline. Using Python, I automated naming convention and USD layer composition, while providing an intuitive interface in Houdini. To reduce the performance impact of having dozens of VDB in the viewport, I automated the creation of a proxy geometry when publishing VDBs. The node also takes care of creating a USD layer to easily load the VDB in Solaris.
We mainly used ShotGrid, fantastic tool for its flexibility and has a quick access for reviews, whips, latest edits, and storing our references. Transparency, anticipation, and weekly meetings were also key to anticipate and to solve issues early.
My goal was to push some shots on V-Ray after doing the main environments on Karma. The opening shots presented a significant challenge, as I aimed to create an environment that was both appealing and true to the location. To accomplish this, I upscaled old footage using image-to-image AI to generate high-quality, accurate resources. I then used various textures and masks from my matte paintings to add final touches to the desert, like detailed reflections and displacements.
The contrasted lighting in the post-explosion sequence offered me more flexibility. Thanks to Paul's custom Houdini tools, the workflow was light speed and perfect for iteration.
In the pre-explosion sequence, geyser generated large plumes of smoke that changed the overall lighting. With the camera filming 3 different angles, we had to keep a coherent lighting direction. After a lot of study, trial, and error, we were able to recreate the subtleties of volumetric lighting in DMP and compositing.
The effects are a crucial element in Firemen. We designed them with several layers and developed our own fire as a character. For the first half of the film, we wanted a realistic geyser while keeping something impossible.
Then, after the accident, we opted for a more stylized and aggressive fire. Once we got the desired look, we deployed them on all shots. We mostly used Axiom Solver to increase the FX resolution, while keeping the simulation time manageable.
Comp 1.
Vas-y toi. Ça part mal.
Okay. We took a scientific approach, studying the mechanisms behind every imperfection of the image and building artist-ready tools to use in Nuke.
For the POV in the rescue scene, we closely observed the visual artifacts that occur when we close our eyes. I developed a process using Fourier transforms with convolution nodes to get those realistic diffraction patterns. For some close-ups of the fire, we used custom-made temperature simulations as distortion maps. We also extensively used the freshly released AI-based Cat-tree nodes, such as the Midas depth map generator and the motion vector generator.
We'd like to thank everyone who was involved in the making of Firemen. Thanks for watching. Firemen
Out.